Hey guys, Mark here, and over the past few days I've been designing and building up this room to be my new productivity workstation. I'm pretty close to finished now, so I figured I'd give you guys a tour of it and share some tips on how to get the most out of the space that you have. The key here is that you have to know yourself and how you work, because what might make me more efficient might not work for you and vice versa, and that's going to come into play a lot here as I go through what I've done to my space and how it works for me. The first thing you're going to notice about this room is just how bright it is in here, despite having these satin black walls. And that's my first tip for you guys. Always brighten your space with as much natural and daylight balanced light as you can. Daylight can be a huge source of energy and motivation, so you always want to pour as much of it in here as you can. You never want to use warm light bulbs that will say either soft or warm white. Those will just feel a little too relaxed and they won't be doing you any favors throughout the day. I've got these nanoleaf panels behind me on the walls there that are daylight balanced to help amplify the natural light during the day, and I even bring my huge daylight balanced studio light in here a lot to brighten the space even further. You can never have too much daylight in your workspace. Then let's move down to the desk area. The desk and the chair were sent out by my friends over at Autonomous. They aren't sponsoring this video or anything, but I figured I'd let you know that I did get these for free. The desk is called the Smart Desk 2 Premium, and it's an electric standing desk that really helps tie the whole room together with the whole white and black color scheme I've got going on. For me personally, a standing desk is the way to go because I can get pretty bored with sitting in one place for a long period of time. So being able to switch from sitting to standing with literally the press of a button is super handy. And that can actually be a pretty good tip for you guys too. If you find yourself getting bored or feeling unmotivated, just being able to stand up and change your perspective on your surroundings can help remotivate you and get your creative juices flowing again. This is one area that a standing desk can be helpful. The other one is a little bit more well known. It's good for you. Not in the sense that standing itself is good, but in the sense that sitting in the same position for even just a couple of hours at a time can do a number on your back, even if the chair is super supportive like this Kin chair they sent me, and I'll get to that in just a sec. The desk is very quiet when transitioning from a sitting height to a standing height, and even with all of the weight of the stuff that I have on it, there's very minimal wobble, and the desk stays very stable even when extended to that full standing height. And I'm 6'3", so I need this thing to be very high to work on it while standing. The control panel on the right has 4 different presets. I only use 2, one for sitting and one for standing, but if you share your workspace with another person, they can set their own heights as well. The panel also has a little LCD screen that shows the exact height that the desk is at, just in case you run out of presets for some reason and you need to get back to that perfect height by using the manual up and down buttons. I got the standard white top to match the room a little better, but you can also get black, bamboo, white oak, and a few more options as well. The white looks very clean and has a little bit of a sheen to it for that premium look. It does smudge pretty easily though, so you might want to get a desk mat to keep everything looking clean and tidy. It's got a couple of silver grommets on each side for cable management if you need it, and overall the whole desk is very well built. It comes with some adhesive hooks for cable management too, but I actually went to a local hardware store and picked up one of these white metal baskets and wrapped and tied all of the cables around it to keep everything looking nice and tidy on the surface. As for what's on the desk, there's actually quite a bit. My main workstation for all of my video editing needs is my 2019 i9 iMac. It looks a bit dated with the huge bezels and design that Apple's been using for many years, but it still looks great in the room, and it's an absolute monster for editing my 4K videos. It's got a Satechi USB-C hub with a couple of card readers and extra USB ports on the front, and a BenQ screen bar at the top for illuminating the desktop without shining light on the screen itself. See? More daylight. It can switch to a warmer tungsten balance too, but I almost never use it. My mouse of choice is the wireless Logitech G305 in white to match, and I use the Apple Magic Keyboard and trackpad in combination for editing in Final Cut Pro. If you're liking this video so far, by the way, maybe give it a like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. One thing that I'm sure caught your eye by now is this little glass writing surface by Quartet. One thing that I always make sure to do in my workspaces is to have a place where I can very quickly jot down notes or ideas. I don't know about you guys, but I'm incredibly scatterbrained, and just as soon as a good idea pops into my head, I get distracted by something and lose it. So this little glass whiteboard is a great way to prevent that from happening. And, you know, it looks great too. Behind that, I have one of my favorite Gundams, the Strike Freedom, which helps add just a little bit of splash of blue you can see all around the room. It's important to have things in your workspace that make you happy too. If everywhere you looked there was just more boring tools or work stuff, it'd get old pretty fast. So I like to add little pieces of personality here and there, like my signed Mighty Car Mods poster. Shout out to the legends Marty and Moog for this awesome piece of art. I'll have links to all this stuff in the video description, by the way, just in case you're interested in buying any of it yourself. Another thing you might have been keen to notice is that I don't have a phone charger on my desk, and that is very much intentional. When I'm working, I try to minimize distractions as much as possible, and that usually means putting my phone on the charger in another room to keep myself from checking it obsessively every 10 minutes. Like I mentioned before, the chair is called Kin, and it's also made by Autonomous. One of the reasons that I was drawn to this chair in the first place is because it looks similar in design to the legendary Herman Miller M-Body, which is a chair that's renowned for its comfort and ergonomics, but it's also insanely expensive. Seriously, I could build a top-tier gaming PC for the price of one of these chairs. But the Kin chair costs less than a third as much and looks just as good or better. It's very well built with premium feeling materials, and I find it both to be ergonomically friendly and comfortable for long periods of time editing at my desk. Like the desk, they've got a whole whack of color and material options, but I went for the white frame and the blue fabric to match the room. The chair has a wide range of adjustments and can go a lot higher than the other Serta chair I got from Staples a year or so ago. If I had to nitpick, I'd say it's a little bit annoying not to have a locking mechanism on the side-to-side adjustment on these armrests. You can sort of just wiggle these to and fro, but it's not a big deal really. While the chair isn't the cushiest one I've sat in, it's more comfortable for longer than other chairs, and I can say that this is probably the best office chair that I've owned so far. To the right of my desk sits my FlashForge Adventurer 3rd Gen 3D printer. I may be a YouTuber and a tech guy first, but I also really enjoy just taking the time to make stuff, and having a 3D printer makes that super easy. It also comes in handy when you want to have a quick fix for things instead of having to order small parts from Amazon or make a trip to the local Home Depot. Below that is a cheap drawer that holds all of the cables I'd ever need, and I haven't organized it yet, so it's kind of messy. And that reminds me of another tip I have for you guys. We creative types can be kind of messy, like a lot. So it's important, at least for me, to have a space where I can shove all of that mess and hide it away out of sight. The closet is a perfect place to do that. I keep all of my workspaces as tidy as possible, and then I just shove everything that I don't want to see inside this closet. I could organize it and tidy it up, but I know myself, and I know I'd just mess it all back up again in the middle of a DIY project in less than a week, so what's the point? Cleanliness is important to keep your motivation levels up without getting distracted, so have a space where you can get messy without feeling bad. Good tip if I do say so myself. This home office area isn't perfect. There's still a nice bit of space in here that I have yet to fill. But for now, this is a comfortable, bright space for me to work on my videos that I know will work with me to keep me motivated and focused on what's important. But at the end of the day, you know yourself best, and you have to tailor your space to what you know will work best for you. So feel free to take any of the ideas and the products I talked about in this video, but you know what? Feel free to discard any or all of them too. I hope this video helped, and if it did, feel free to give it a like and subscribe to support my channel. And as always, have a great day.